Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 13 in the NFL, Thanksgiving week, and we are going to preview all three Thanksgiving Day games with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, the best guy to do this with, the most experienced guy, the guy who's been doing this successfully for 29 years in the industry. We're going to start with the first game, Chicago-Detroit. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you, and I'm very thankful for SBR Videos and all the people who watch them.
All right, well, I'm thankful for you too. For about 8 reasons, but one of them is that, you take any game that I ask you to cover, because there's a lot of games that just might not have an easy, obvious edge, and most handicappers, for very good reason, don't want to go on public record with an opinion, even a lukewarm opinion on a game if they don't feel comfortable about it. But you will take any game that I ask you to take. You'll analyze any point spread, even if it doesn't have an obvious, clear edge to you. Why is that, Joe?
It's my occupation. It's my hobby. I've been doing it professionally, actually, for 27 years, although much longer than that, as far as did some part-time stuff and then been betting and handicapping long before that. But no, I just love handicapping games. It's my entire life.
All right. Well, we will see what you have to say about Chicago-Detroit. Before we get to that, though, tell everyone what your website, OffshoreInsiders.com, is all about. That's not a site where you cover any game that anyone asks you to take. That's a site where you only give your top plays each week, right?
Yes. Bang, bang, bang. The NFL specialists, we fit 12 out of 15 NFL plays the last 2 weeks. Absolutely on fire. We're ahead for the year, college and pro football combined, going all the way back to preseason. Thanksgiving weekend, generally one of the strongest of the year for bettors. So join us at OffshoreInsiders.com, baby.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you, though, in the Thanksgiving NFL games of years past, I think it was maybe last year or 2 years ago, I felt like I was seeing strong edges in almost all the games, and I usually wind up having a good day. This year, though, the 3 games looking very tough, and this one is a perfect example. Chicago-Detroit, right? Right now, Detroit is a 6.5 or 7-point home favorite. Totals 47, up a bit from 46.5. And Detroit is just one of those teams, on paper they look like they should be a lot better, right? They have a defense putting up great stats. On offense, they have awesome names in the lineup, but they're just not getting it done. They're not scoring. They're not covering spreads. They're losing games. They're losing against the spread. Last week, some people thought they might be a good bet against the Pats. Wasn't even close. They got blown out against the spread. They've now lost 4 out of the last 5 games against the spread. Offense stalled out, but Chicago, not a team that's terribly inspiring either. They have gotten 2 straight wins and covers in a row at home, and here they come in as a big underdog. So, I guess I would lean towards Chicago just on the hopes this one winds up being, a primetime game that goes down to the wire. But I wouldn't feel very comfortable about it. What's your take on these lines so far, Joe?
No, I definitely have the under here. As people know, I'm not really a huge fan of either one of these quarterbacks, although in my, predictably unpredictable, what I always say that both of these quarterbacks are certainly capable of having spectacular games, but Detroit has been the best under team in the NFL, not only by what the public generally considers to be the best indicator. They've gone under 9 of 11. That's really not the best indicator, but they've gone under by an average of 9.6 points per game. So it really has not been a fluke. In Chicago, the fact that they're off consecutive wins, even though Jay Cutler hasn't played all that well, but generally Jay Cutler plays his worst when Chicago is a little hot, and Chicago is a little bit hot right now. But Detroit's defense has been tremendous. They're giving up 0.3 fewer yards per rushing attempt and 0.3 fewer yards per pass than their opponent normally allows. But on offense, they're getting a full yard less and 0.2 yards per pass attempt below a team's what the defense normally allows. So Detroit's been a great defensive team, so on offense. And the strength of the Bears teams has been on defense. You can't look at the pure statistic. The Bears have had 3 awful games defensively this year. Green Bay twice, and the New England Patriots. That's 3 games against 2 of the most powerful offenses in the NFL. They gave up 48 points per game in those 3 games, but in their 3 games, in their remaining games, I should say, they're 8 games against non-elite offenses, which Detroit certainly is. They're only allowing an average of less than 20 points per game. This is going to be very low-scoring, Mr. Loshak.
All right, I hear you on that. I mean, I thought about the total as well. Here's the the argument against the total. First of all, the Bears are 5-1 over/under on the road, and Detroit's offense does seem to be, a decent amount better at home. They are 2-9 over/under on the year, but they're also just 2-3 over/under at home. And so you look at their recent final scores, you figured that their offense is probably going to step it up here a bit. I see them putting up, somewhere at least in the 20s in this one. And, on the short week, if that Bears offense, if Cutler starts to click, if Detroit's defense is worn down a little bit and Cutler starts to click with his receivers, they can put up points in a hurry. Detroit's offense probably a little bit better at home. I could see this one climbing at some point over the total. I did think about this.
Yeah, well, Cutler hasn't been clicking really with his receivers all that much this year, so that's kind of a big if. And keep in mind, Detroit, their best offensive lineman, Riley Reif, he's questionable, and now there's some reports he could be, questionable to doubtful, so that's also big. Now, I don't think either one of these quarterbacks have been clicking very much this year, but again, as I said, both of these defenses have been tremendous, especially Detroit's defense has been great overall, and Chicago, their only struggles have been against fantastic offenses, which they're not going to see here. But yeah, again, as I always say, there's no such thing as a sure thing. That's why you're not going to hear me say that, bet your life on this and whatnot. Both of these quarterbacks are certainly capable of coming up with great games every now and then, but as far as the percentages say, no, I don't think that's going to happen. This total's way too high.
All right, well, it is kind of a high total. 47 is the current market number, up a bit from 46.5, and Joe Duffy likes the under on that one. I can't make a rational argument against it. It's just my gut tells me that makes me uncomfortable. But Joe Duffy liking the under, 47. Thanks so much, Joe.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.